And there we are, folks. Welcome back to another edition of Coach to Coach. I'm Coach Michael Burt. We got Coach Chase Gruenig here with us. I am in Raleigh, North Carolina today. And Chase, looks like you are in which city, which office?
I'm in Dixon. I'm at home base today, Dixon, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville.
Dixon, Tennessee. And when you chose to live in Dixon, what was the main reason?
Well, we were living in downtown Nashville in the Gulch. You know the Gulch, it's a very populated area. We had about 600 square feet. COVID happened, and we just needed space just like anybody else. And we went from 600 square feet to 8 acres and a beautiful home out in the middle of nowhere. And we just had a change up. We kept our place down there too. I just like you, I love different environments. Like I love being downtown, but I also like being in the middle of nowhere.
And I don't think people really understand that when you're an entrepreneur and you're creative. Like I have an office in Watercolor, Florida, right? And I had to get on a waiting list for 2 years to get an office in Watercolor Suites.
Yeah.
Okay. And I may only use that office literally 5 times a year. Okay. But when I go down there, I got an office to go do Zooms. I got a cool place. I could ride my, it's like you need an environment. You need a change of environment. And I think a lot of people don't understand, like the way creatives become creative is they move and they circulate. Last week, you guys were in New York City. There's a new vibe. There's a vibe in New York City that's different than Raleigh, North Carolina, where I am today.
No doubt.
Right? There's a different vibe here than there. Just like there's a different vibe in Dixon, like there's out at the lodge, relaxed, creative land, than there is in downtown Nashville. So I think a lot of people, I remember hearing Price Pritchett say, that he gets disgusted with himself when he takes the same way to work, does the same thing every day, goes to the same office, does the same thing. And there's no variety. There's no creativity there. And if you're going to do bigger things, I just went and looked at a venue that had an event that had 100,000 people online. The only way to do that is to have a certain technology. They had to have 10 MacBook computers. They had screens on all the walls so you could see everybody. And it was where Ed Mylett launched his book, which was a tremendous book launch. I think they did, 107,000 books that day on the first day through this system. And a tornado hit the building right in the middle of the book launch. And they had backup generators. But I went and looked at it, Chase, because I wanted to see, okay, as I build greatness factories, what do I want to do with these things? Are they deal flow centers? Are they event venues? Are they office spaces? I'm trying to, but just seeing it, the more, when you're seeing it, you're talking about it and you're thinking about it. Now, what we're going to talk about today is Dynasty. We're going to stay on this theme of your book that is launched. I can hear the folks knocking on my door here in the room. We're gonna stay on this theme of your new book that's coming out, because this is a big week for you. You were in New York City last week, taking pictures with the book on the NASDAQ, which is super cool. I did that with Flip the Switch, but we're gonna stay on this theme of building dynasties, because I am hooked on watching the documentary on Netflix about America's team, and I cannot. It's almost like I can't go to bed at night, man. I just want to watch another episode and watch another episode. And it combines football, the drama, the business, the business savvy of Jerry Jones, the risk that he took to buy the Cowboys. It's just the beef that him and Jimmy Johnson had with each other even after they won a Super Bowl. It's just amazing to me. And what it made me want to do, Chase, I'm going to say this publicly and probably regret it, is it made me wanted to go back and coach. I'm like, I'm going to go back and coach a team. I'm going to go back and be a high school basketball coach. I'm going to go back and win a champ. Like that's how damn good this show is. It made me want to go back. If I could just find a team that paid me maybe $2 or $3 million a year, I'd be in good shape. Now, so Chase, we're talking dynasty, and that's really like it's so crazy, because I think the last time the Cowboys won an actual championship was in the 80s, maybe, or 90s. I don't know, but it's been a long time, but they're still the most valuable team in America as far as dollar for dollar. Isn't that amazing? So Dynasty for you, there's a lot of parallels here, because you're teaching people how to build insurance dynasties.
Yep.
And I was just on the phone with a broker I want to introduce you to, who just sold my buddy's insurance agency had 1.7 million of EBITDA, and she brokered the deal at 11.5 times multiple on 1.7. Okay. And so I spent some time with her the other day on the phone. She's sharp. And this is all she does is specialize in selling insurance agencies. That's it. That's all she does. And this woman's good. I mean, she was very impressive. And so, but building a dynasty in the insurance business, like I went into the coaching business X number of years ago, you went into the insurance business. Now you're coming over to the coaching business. So when you think about dynasties, when I watch Jimmy Johnson and how tough he was, I go back to this. Those players may have hated it, but they loved it because they brought in Barry Switzer after they fired Jimmy Johnson. Okay. Now they fired Jimmy Johnson after he won 2 Super Bowls, by the way. And him and Jerry Jones got into it and they fired, then they bring in Barry Switzer, who's, I mean, imagine coming in after a guy's won 2 Super Bowls. So they hated him. But the biggest thing they said was he wasn't as tough and disciplined as Jimmy Johnson was. The players loved him. Now, this is a very important thing. They loved this man, but they didn't think they actually needed somebody to push them harder. And these are players making millions of dollars, and they actually were wanting for more accountability. So do you see the same thing in the insurance business? Do we need to be as tough on our business people, Chase, as we were on our athletes?
Yeah, I mean, simple answer is yes. And I think that's where we've seen the biggest improvement within our internal organization is there's performance improvement plans. There's daily meetings. There's one-on-one accountabilities that we're doing every single week. And we're seeing significant differences between the agencies that we coach, teach, lead that don't have as much individual attention, that don't have as much discipline compared to the agencies we do. I mean, there's a night and day difference. So the parallels between building a championship sports team, whether it's football, women's basketball, and building a championship business, I think are so congruent and often overlooked because I feel like we're in this day and age where it's like, we just got to be careful with everything and HR and all these different things. And I think the biggest difference we're seeing, where we're seeing 100% year-over-year growth, is really being tough, really being disciplined, and really having systematic improvement plans, just like we would when we were coaching championship teams.
You know, so the truth is, as adults, we need accountability. I don't care how good you are, you know, and I'm going to use the parallels of the show, is that Troy Aikman was so difficult to handle after Jimmy Johnson left because he did not respect the leadership. And he's like, these guys won't coach us. They won't push us. They won't hold us accountable. They won't do this. We want to win another championship. And we're getting lax. We're playing golf. We're goofing off. Now, the moral of this story is, left to our own devices, all of us will contract to places of comfort. Okay? Now, this is why we need the accountability structure. This is why you ought to be, if you're running an insurance agency right now, asking, you know, how many checkpoints have you done today? How many outbound calls have you made? How many touches have you made? How many follow-ups have you done? Where are your sales numbers? It's the end of the month. Like people may not like that, but the truth is, grown-ass adults need it as much as my 3-year-old daughter does. Right? Am I right or right?
Absolutely. And I talk about this in the book, and you'll know exactly what I mean by this, but we're either coaching it or we're letting it happen. There's no in between, in my opinion. And every day in our insurance agency, we have an all-team meeting, and our leaders report on the metrics in their departments. We report on daily sales numbers. We report on daily close rates, daily show rates. We report on the appointments we set per day, our admin, how many retention appointments they're setting, our operations on how many contracting calls they're scheduling. We have metrics for every single department that we hold people accountable to. And again, if we don't do that, I'm just letting mediocre happen. So we're coaching it or we're letting it happen.
And I'm sick of mediocre people. I'm at a point in my life, I don't even want to associate with them. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to hold people's hands. It's like I'm looking for Navy SEALs, not baby seals. And, you know, when you think about it, when you set that expectation, I've been around some of the best people in the world, Milet, Cardone, Grover, right? Coaches that have won 10 championships. Like none of those, Chase, have tolerance for low-level people. They won't even entertain it. Like, you would be embarrassed to even take them an excuse.
Yeah.
Like early on in my career, I remember having conversations with a Cardone or some of these people, and then I like feeling embarrassed that I even said some of the things I said to them. Like I can't even believe I was even thinking at that low of a frequency. And that's a word I want to use here. Frequency. Noise versus signal. I'm signaling to the market, I'm going pro. I'm doing bigger deals. Because some of the argument lately, Chase, with me is, people are saying, well, he's not a coach anymore. He's raising capital and he don't want to coach people. And the truth is, you would be raising capital too if you could do multi-million-dollar deals at a time, right? It's like, I want a coach who's actually out there doing something, who's actually knows how to do it, who actually making deals and making moves, who could, like me introducing you to these people who can buy these insurance agencies. You would want a coach who can pick up the phone and say, hey, here's an option for you. You don't want somebody who's making 50 grand a year, who's got some certification coaching you. You want a real player coaching you that really knows how to do it. So it's like, I hear the noise, Chase, that people say, the excuses. Well, he's too hard on people, or he pushes people too hard, or he's going to too much of intensity. Does he ever sleep? And what that's really doing is it's separating out the noise from the signal. And I think when you're building dynasties, with what you're doing in the insurance space, you're only looking for a certain caliber of person. Now, do you want to take failing companies and turn them around in the insurance business? Or do you want to take people that's got some pop, got some potential, they got some hunger? Which one are you more interested in taking today?
I'll make this very clear. I'll take a failing insurance agency if they have the desire to be better, if they have the grit, they have the determination, they have all the intangibles that signal to me that they have the ability to go to that level. Now, I will not take a failing insurance agency that has 6,000 excuses and is pointing fingers every single direction and wants to tell me while they're failing. So there's a certain type of failing insurance agency, which in my opinion is just looking for somebody, to help them. That's the kind of failing insurance agency I'm looking for. But on the flip side, what I love more than anything, and I speak about this all the time, is the killers, the pros will do anything to get 1%, 5%, 10% better. And those are the people that I really resonate with, is those people that are already killing it, that will do anything to get 5 to 10% better.
Yeah. And they're looking for other people to gravitate toward. That's why I like the word frequency so much. When Deion Sanders left the 49ers and went to Dallas, he's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. When Emmitt Smith transferred to another team to retire, he actually transferred back to the Cowboys to play one down to retire as a Cowboy. Isn't that crazy? Because he said, this is where I'm supposed to be. Now, there's a lot of craziness that went on with that group, and, which there is with a lot of people. But the truth is, like gravitates toward like. Association breeds assimilation. Okay. And what you're looking for to build a dynasty is the right culmination of players, coaches, positive expectancy environment. We're not dealing with amateurs here. We're dealing with pros, and the pros play on Sunday. Okay. So when you wrote this book, now that you're out there, you're going to start talking about it. And I mean, I've been talking about Flip the Switch now for almost 3 years.
Right.
There's certain themes that come up over and over and over that are like, these are big things that people really want to know. So when people are coming this week to the Greatness Factory, there's over 350 people registered for online to be at the online event. They can still register for the online event, correct?
Yeah, we're capped at 500, and from what I've heard, we've reached over 400 today. I don't have the official number, so I expect that to be capped by tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, and people will see that part when they see the whole event if they go online, or how does that work?
Yeah, I'll post a link below these comments today to register online. If you don't make it online, we will have the book launch available where you'll get about $2,000 in bonuses if you purchase within the first week. That's an 8-week book club with me, sales form kit, and then our top boot camp where I teach you how to generate $1,500 in revenue per appointment.
And if you can't buy it, what's a book cost? $25, $30?
$12.99 freaking cents.
Okay. If you can't buy a book for $12.99 and get all of that coaching, then you probably don't need to be watching this Zoom with Chase and I. You probably don't need to come to the Greatness Factory. You probably don't need to get involved. Freeze up a little bit. You probably don't need to get involved in coaching, right? Looks like I froze up there. Can you see me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me, but you can't see me. All right. I'm working the muscle here. All right. So, but if you can't pay $12.99 to purchase the book and do some of these things, then man, this is not a fit for you. Okay. Go to the Complacency Factory. Now, Chase, tell them about the actual event that they can book. Or is there any spots available? Is it totally sold out?
So we've got about 55 in attendance at the Greatness Factory. Holds about 108 people. So if you're in the Nashville area, you can come see us tomorrow, 5 Central. We'll have a little champagne. It'll be about 30 minutes book launch. And then we have a post event down here in downtown Nashville. And then leading up after that, we go right into the coaches retreat Thursday, Friday, which we have about 5 to 10 seats left for that. If you're really serious and want to get involved in that. So we've got a full next 3 days, and some of the biggest players in the insurance industry, specifically the Medicare industry, are coming in from across the country for this event. So it's going to be filled with people that are the who's, the people that have done it and know how to get you to the next level.
Well, it looks like I froze up on you, man, but I'm excited about being with you. I'm going to be speaking on Thursday morning at the Greatness Factory live. I'm excited to be back in Tennessee with you, and it's going to be a killer event. Listen, I'm traveling the world looking at these other venues, Chase, and I can't find one cooler than the Greatness Factory. And I see a lot of cool venues, but when it comes to the aesthetics and the theater and just, I'm telling you, man, I've looked at 4 different venues, all nice, but none of them have the feel of the Greatness Factory. Okay. I'm just telling you, that's the truth. So get your tickets. I'll see you on Thursday. Get your book, buy your book, and let's go pro and win a championship and get to the Dynasty.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. I'm going to reboot. Have a great day.
Sounds good. Take care.